Hi everyone and welcome to Ecology 2. We have another 8 definitions, 8 short questions to get through. All of these are fairly simple and the basic level of ecology, but they are really commonly asked in the short questions and at the top of your long question in ecology. So without further ado, we'll get started. The first question is climatic factors. So what are climatic factors? Climatic factors refer to the weather over a long period of time. For example, how much rainfall or what temperature is in a certain ecosystem. Your next question is edaphic factors. When you see the term edaphic, you know it's about soil. So edaphic factors refer to the soil. For example, if the pH of a soil is very acidic, it's going to be difficult for certain plants to grow there. So edaphic factors refers to factors in the soil. Our next question is to distinguish between flora and fauna, a really commonly asked question in ecology. Flora refers to all the plants living in an ecosystem, and fauna refers to all the animals living in an ecosystem. It's important to know the difference between the two, and they're basically just different names for each of plants and animals. Producers. Producers are organisms that carry out photosynthesis. They are the first on the food chain, first on a trophic level, and they are usually plants, for example, grass. Producers. What are consumers? Consumers are organisms that take in food from another organism. So this could be an animal that eats plants, or it could be an animal that eats another animal. Consumers, they take in food from another organism. Different to producers, producers carry out photosynthesis, so they produce their own food. Primary consumers, we're breaking down the sections now into different areas. Primary consumers feed on producers. Okay, so they are the first consumers, so they eat grass or they eat plants. And examples you can give are herbivores and decomposers. A good example of a primary consumer would be a rabbit that would feed on the grass. Our next question is secondary consumers. Secondary consumers feed on primary consumers. For example, carnivores and scavengers. For an example I'm going to give you would be a fox. A fox is a secondary consumer because that feeds on the rabbit. It feeds on a primary consumer. Question 8, and our final question in this section, is tertiary consumers. Tertiary consumers feed on secondary consumers. They are not always present in an ecosystem. If no organism eats them, then they are the top consumer and they are top of the food chain. A good example will be humans. So that is section 2 of Ecology complete. Once again, you've got your 8 questions. Get your work done, and by the end of it, you'll know a lot of exam questions that are going to be coming up next June.